Way back, and I mean a really, really long time ago, people used to pass around these wild stories about this massive magical bird from way out east. They called it the phoenix. And look at this thing. It wasn't snacking on seeds or worms like some regular pigeon in the park. It was giant tick. It was draped in these bright red and gold feathers that basically looked like pure hot fire. It hung out right near the rising sun, and the sun, total best friends. Just a beautiful, glowing creature completely bathed in the morning light. Every morning, it would sit there and sing this song. And we're talking a melody so sweet that even the sun would hit pause, just hovering there, totally captivated, soaking it all in. And it kept singing that sweet morning song for an unbelievably long time. Way, way longer than any human could ever stick around, just chilling in that serene atmospheric light day after day. But, you know, time is heavy, and eventually it catches up, even for magic. The poor bird started to feel weighed down with age. Its massive wings felt like lead, and those brilliant, fiery feathers kind of faded out into these soft, tired shadows. It was just so exhausted. But it wasn't lost in the dark or confused or anything. It knew exactly what it had to do next. So it gently flew out to the safe, quiet tree and started building a nest, but it wasn't just throwing random dry twigs together. It was out there gathering these sweet-smelling spices, cinnamon, myrrh, and weaving them all together into the branches. It's honestly kind of like prepping a magical oven for something wild to happen, getting all the spicy ingredients perfectly in place before turning on the heat.
Once that spicy nest was ready and smelling absolutely amazing, the sweet, tired bird settled directly into the center of it. It looked straight up and waited. It waited for the intense heat of its best friend. And when the sun finally shone down with those fierce, bright rays hitting all those spices, a tiny glowing spark popped right up in the twigs.
That little spark gently bloomed. It grew into this warm, hot flame, and these bright red and orange ribbons of fire wrapped around the nest, and then they wrapped right around the bird too. But here's the beautiful part. It wasn't scared at all. The magic fire was just part of who it was. It held the bird close, burning brilliantly bright, before slowly, softly fading out into nothing. And then, utter stillness. The quietest, most peaceful forest you can imagine. And right there on the branch, just a perfectly still, lonely little pile of gray ashes. It honestly feels so complete, so entirely quiet, like the whole grand story has faded out into the wind and ended forever. But man, magic is so tricky, isn't it? It absolutely loves a good surprise. Because hiding right there in the dust was a tiny secret. Think of those gray ashes kind of like a heavy winter blanket, hiding a tiny, stubborn seed, just waiting to pop. And right in the very center of that gray pile, it shifted. This tiny, perfect little shape started pushing its way right through the dust. It was a brand new bird. Tiny, but so strong, shaking all that heavy gray ash right off its little red and gold wings. It was this fresh baby phoenix, looking exactly like the old one. It stretched out those brand new wings, took this massive, deep breath of cool air, and let out a loud, happy chirp. The old bird was gone, yeah? But it was also right here, taking its place. And this gorgeous little bird did not stay small for long. It grew up so crazy fast, turning into this breathtakingly huge, beautiful creature. And when it finally took off, soaring way up into that bright, clear sky with feathers literally shining like the sun itself, it proved that all that tricky magic wasn't just a story. It was entirely real. But before heading out on its next big journey, it didn't leave a mess behind. It gently used its claws to gather up every last bit of those leftover gray ashes from the old nest. It carefully rolled them all together into this perfect, small little ball, keeping it safe, almost like a beautiful, tangible memory of the life that came before. And it carried that memory on a huge flight all the way to this famous place, Heliopolis, the city of the sun. It gently placed that ball of ashes right inside a grand temple there. It was a deeply respectful goodbye to the old bird. A really quiet way of honoring the past, before turning around and flying all the way back home to the east to wait for the sunrise again. Meanwhile, all these people down below would catch a glimpse of those bright, fiery colors streaking across the sky. They'd stand there, pointing up, totally amazed, smiling at the impossible colors. And you know how humans are. They sat around and passed this wild, beautiful story of the magic fire and the baby bird right down to their kids. And that story kept traveling. It wandered across the whole world, reaching totally different lands and totally different cultures. It inspired people so much that everyone fell in love with it. They started carving that majestic bird right into ancient stone walls and stamping its face onto their gleaming gold coins, passing around a little piece of hope everywhere they went. Because when you really unpack it, the whole thing is this massive, deep lesson about navigating hard times. Like, sometimes things totally fall apart, and it feels terrifying. The fire looks super scary when it's tearing down the old nest and taking familiar things away. But what's really happening is that the fire is cleaning up the old mess, doing the hard work to make room for something fresh. It's this amazing, quiet secret that ashes always hide a fresh start. You might feel totally broken or wiped out, but you just have to be patient. A busted-up toy can always be fixed, and the absolute worst, saddest day can still flip and turn happy. Because you always have that tiny, lingering spark inside you, waiting in the quiet to help you build a new nest and start all over again. It's no wonder ancient kings wanted this bird waving on their massive flags out in the wind, showing everyone their kingdoms were strong and unbreakable. And writers couldn't stop penning these gorgeous handwritten poems on parchment about the magic of the fire. The phoenix turned into this ultimate, deep symbol that basically means you never, ever give up. And it's so real in our lives, too. Think about it. When a forest burns down, it looks tragic and totally ruined. But give it time and all these vibrant, fresh green trees start pushing right back up through the scorched dirt. The forest comes back, exactly like the bird in the story. It's the exact same vibe when you try really hard at something and fail hard. You try again and you come back stronger. You rise right out of it. It is this beautifully unending cyclical path. A gorgeous loop of the burning away only to come back stronger to beat the heavy, exhausting weight of time. It's perfectly endless. Honestly, it's a lot like having your absolute favorite song constantly playing on repeat, always fading out only to drop the beat and start fresh all over again. Because really, every finish line is just the start of a brand new race. A hard ending isn't an actual end. It's just the deep breath before the next big thing. And man, isn't that a wild, wonderful thought to hang on to? Anyway, if you're vibing with these wandering little stories and finding some magic in the ashes, toss a like on this, share it with somebody who needs a spark today, and hit subscribe so we can keep diving into these wild mysteries together.